A very warm welcome back to LUKAH'S Island for episode 5 with me, Mr. Sealy P. I wasn't going to put this bit in, but I thought, in the interest of transparency, I've cut down a few more trees and put a few bits in. So obviously when we get to the next bit of the video, probably don't need to do it. Of course I don't, but you know, people suddenly go, hang on a minute, in the last episode you were on 50 grand, now you're on 78, how did that happen? So just done a little bit of logging just to give myself a bit of a buffer, really. It's 20 past 1 in the afternoon. I have been busy with my GT and the small plough. I have ploughed 3 of the fields. I'm just finishing off. Then what I'm going to do is whiz across my little land bridge, clear up those areas on the bigger field that need ploughing out, where the land is reclaiming the field. This episode today is going to be a little bit more relaxed. I say relaxed. This is being recorded on the 15th of April, Thursday the 15th of April. If you watch my mod reviews and everything else, you'll know. Over the last couple of days I've made a couple of errors during editing and things like that. So, I then tweeted to say, I need a break. I really need a break. So what myself and Mrs. CDP are going to do is, here in the UK, lockdown fairly, well, pretty much lifted on the 12th. 4 bars and things like that to open, and shops and certain things. And then from the 17th, it lifts a little bit more. I can't remember what all the details are, but anyway. So we've waited a week and we're going to go away up to the barn. For those of you who are familiar with my favourite place up in the Lake District, we're going to go to the barn and get away for a week. Now the thing about this being, we are going to get away for a week. A kind of mental health break, that kind of thing, I guess. I wasn't intending taking my PlayStation at all. That'll be the first time in 4 years that I've gone away for a significant break and not taken it. I always take my PlayStation, even if I don't carry on doing Let's Plays, I do mod reviews. If I don't do the mod reviews, I do my Let's Plays daily. Some holidays we've been away and I've done both still, carried on. So what I decided was, I'm not taking the PlayStation. Not going to happen. I'm going to actually have my first proper full week away with my wife and farm dog and not do any recording. Now for me, that's huge. It's massive because it makes me very nervous. Because I've been doing this now, stay at home dad, this is a full-time thing. I'm a YouTuber now. If I don't make videos, I don't earn money. I don't make any money. So you've got the double whammy. Like anybody who's self-employed, taking a holiday is a big thing because, one, you're not earning money, but two, you're spending money because you're away on holiday. That's kind of how it works. Now, I'm not asking for anybody's sympathy or anything like that. I'm not asking for anything in particular, other than one small thing. If you can, if there's any Let's Plays of mine you haven't watched yet, while I'm away, jump on and watch some Let's Plays. Go and check out some mod reviews where you've forgotten where certain things are or whatever, just, just to help out. I'm just really panicked, as you can probably tell, but we need the break. Now, I said I wasn't going to take away my PlayStation. There is one exception to that rule that I have made. And it's not a promise I made or an obligation. Maybe I feel obliged, but not because this person is making me feel obliged or anything like that. But I need to be really cryptic here because I can't give anything away. There is something that may be coming out while I'm away. And that all depends on Giants. It depends when it gets submitted. Oh, that's odd. haven't come across that before. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I have, it's because I'm talking. Allow create fields. That's what I forgot to do. It's because I'm on the field and thinking, hang on, this is a regular field, why is it not working? Because I need to do that. Yeah, so, yeah, depends whether or not this particular thing gets submitted or not. And if it does get submitted, depends whether Giants pass it first time, whether it fails testing. There's a whole load of parameters which may mean that next week it doesn't actually come out at all. So if it doesn't, not a problem. Well, I say not a problem. There'll be no videos. I will be radio silent as well. So anybody that messages me, contacts me to ask questions, I have become something of a help desk, it would appear. I do have people message me and text me all hours of the day, and that's part and parcel of doing, being a YouTuber, doing what I do, making my videos, And it doesn't bother me. I will try to as best I can. I don't always respond immediately, depends what I'm doing, but next week I won't be. So please, if you send me a message next week, don't be offended if I don't respond, because some people can be a little bit impatient, and again, I understand, I totally get it. It's when people send you a message and 10 minutes later send you like question marks, or will message you again saying, why haven't you answered? I do get a lot of requests, I do get a lot of comments, I do get a lot of messages, and like I say, I have no problem answering them, I have no problem helping people out, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Next week I won't be at all. I'm having a week away. So I say, yeah, there's only one proviso, there's only one thing that I will break my PlayStation embargo for, and if it happens, you'll see and you'll understand. But other than that, yeah. So I thought also today's going to be LUKAH'S Island. Tomorrow, possibly Rasvet, maybe another LUKAH'S Island. I haven't really decided. But it's going to be a little bit more chilled out today. I've got this to do. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do all the ploughing. I'm going to stop talking in a second and go. Just wanted to explain. I will explain again tomorrow on tomorrow's video, so anyone that didn't catch this one, it depends if you're watching Rasvet and not LUKAH'S, or LUKAH'S and not Rasvet, and then I kind of cover everyone. I will also mention it on my mod reviews, so if you watch all of them, I apologise. You're going to hear me say the same thing a few times. But so what we're going to do is we're going to go off around the island and try and gather up all the things for this GT, because we are now living that GT life. And when we first arrived on the island, we went around, we found loads of things, but we didn't have the tractor. Now we've got the tractor, we need to go and gather up the things. There's also that orange thing that was in the woods I want to go and have a look at. Oh, and I want to try and use the bucket behind our new toilet facilities to see about the manure thing. Now, again, thank you to everybody who commented about my location, and that if I send a radio message, it should be able to be triangulated. I had people suggest I go into some of the buildings. There may be some intel, there may be maps, there may be information on the island, there may be something that if I radio someone, I can let them know where I am. Brilliant idea, thank you for that. As far as names go, there were loads of names submitted for the Scarecrow, and I appreciate them all, thank you very much. Some of my favourites, but not just exclusively these. Wurzel was a very popular one. Mr. Scary P, I thought, okay, that was quite good. Mrs. King, now that is an awesome reference, and if you know, you know. There's a funny story that goes behind that. There was a series, and for years I honestly thought I dreamt it, because anyone I asked about this particular series, and like I say, if you know, you know. It was Bruce Boxleitner, I think it was in it. Nobody had ever heard of it. People were like, no, don't know what that is, never heard it, never watched it, never saw it, don't know what you're talking about. So I honestly thought I dreamt it. And then someone commented to say, Mrs. King, and I was like, whoa, and it suddenly hit me, bam, maybe I didn't dream it after all. So yeah, I love that one. Sandy, Woody, Boris, I loved. The dishevelled Scarecrow look, definitely Boris, that's a good one. Ostiff was the interesting one, outstanding in his field. So Ostiff was an acronym, I quite like that. But one I really did like as well was Duke, because the Duke of Edinburgh passed away, and someone said it would be quite fitting to call him Duke. Now I did already say I was going to call him Thomas. I'm really quite taken with Mrs. King, but I might go with Duke, you know. Boris is a cracker. I like that because he is just, you know, how can someone be leading a country and be as dishevelled a mess? I've often wondered with him whether it's a very clever tactic. You know, if you go into a room, whether it's with diplomats, other prime ministers, premiers, you know, all those kind of things, whatever it might be, and you're looking like that, it disarms people because people think, oh, look at this bumbling idiot. And it kind of catches people off guard. Either that or he really is just a bumbling idiot, but, you know, I don't know. So yeah, all sorts of stuff. I just thought, yeah, this one I'm going to take it a little bit easier. I'm going to do a few jobs. I'm going to go and grab some bits, and hopefully we'll get some seeding done as well. So I can get the ploughing done, then we'll get some seeds in the ground. I'm going to put some corn in the ground on one of the fields, because hopefully if we can get that radio signal out, if one of the first things I'm going to ask for, two things I'm going to ask for. One is going to be a larger water container. The other is going to be a corn header. Definitely. Trying to think what else I might need. Again, in the comments, if you've got any ideas, if you're in my position now, knowing what equipment I've got already, the bits and bobs I've got, logging is not going to be a problem, and I should be able to pay for stuff if things are going to be delivered. Things will come to the dock just over there. Well, that's what I'm going to ask them to bring them to, if they can. What other stuff do you think I need? I just suppose it depends what else is on the islands. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can still do it. Oh yeah, the other thing I was going to talk about before I disappear off and finish off doing all this was a few people mentioned about me being bunged up and stuffed up, and someone said about being hay fever season, and someone said it's not normal that I should be like this all the time. I have something called allergic rhinitis, which is one of those horrible things that normally I'm allergic to house mites, dust, pet hair, not necessarily fur, pet hair. Animals with fine hair, like guinea pigs and rabbits and stuff like that, will pretty much kill me. I am, I say, mildly asthmatic. There's another story that goes with that as well. But so I have all those things. So I've got nasal sprays and all sorts of things I have to take because I've got this thing, allergic rhinitis. Now, fair enough. But then what happens in the summer is I've also got chronic hay fever, which is also part of the allergic rhinitis, because anything that goes into your nostrils and causes inflammation and problems causes, you know, issues. So I can't win. In the summer months, my hay fever kicks in and my face melts. The rest of the year, dust, pets, anything at all can pretty much set it off. If we're clearing anything out, tidying things up, you know, it's like when you go and tidy your loft and there's dust in the air, or oh man, that's it. I'm just gone. So yeah, that's why it's often far worse in the morning, which doesn't help, because when I wake up and I get myself ready to do my videos, usually I'll start recording and my nose starts, and that's brilliant, and then I sound bunged up, and you know, I'll often have to stop and pause and go again. So that's why, just to explain that, I just, you know, just trying to cover all the bases. It's all kind of like a live stream, you know, people asking questions, but these are questions that have been asked over the last few weeks and stuff, so I thought, while I'm doing this, I'll answer the questions. This is a fairly big field. We get quite a big crop out of this. I just don't know what to... I might just do a mixture of different things. We'll definitely do potatoes at some point. I've got nothing to put potatoes in the ground with yet. But we're going to do some corn, definitely, because we can eat that. I suppose we could do some wheat, we could do some barley, because if we can mill it, we can get some flour. We can do some rudimentary, I mean, it'll be flatbreads, unleavened, because we've got no yeast or anything like that. But we could do, I suppose, something along those lines. Is it chapatis? Is chapatis? I'm trying to think. There's all different ones, like Mexican food, and they have like flat breads, round breads, not like a naan, that kind of thing, I guess. Anyway, I'm no baker, I'm no expert, I'm just kind of, just ideas. Oh yeah, and the manure situation. A few people commented when I said about using the manure. Well, in-game, one of the fertiliser options is manure. Now that normally comes from the animals and you spread it over the fields. Now using human deposits is a whole different ball game. I totally understand that, but obviously in the game there is no option for that. We're just using manure. So for the people that commented to say, well, you would be able to because it would need to be treated and because of the diseases that humans carry, I do understand. I do get that. But again, you just need to kind of go with it a little bit. It's just a narrative device using the things we've got and just doing something a little bit different. You know, yes, I could set up my whole sewage treatment plant and that kind of thing. Maybe we will further down the line. We'll do that. Let's say we're going to do that. Or I suppose I could put it all into the biogas plant to take manure, and then we'll get the digestate out, which we know we can use. So I don't know, something along those lines. But just trying to answer questions and queries and things that people have said. So I'm going to see you in a little while. I've got more to do. Let's go and find some stuff and let's get some seeds in the ground. I'm curious about that orange thing that we saw in the woods. Ploughing is done. I love the fact with this GT you can pick up the implements and move them out from underneath. I'm going to have a bit of a store here, I think. Just put that down there. So we'll go off and look for some more in just a second. Before we do that, we're going to check on the manure situation. I bought the crawler with the bucket. This should work. I don't see reason why it wouldn't. Now also, the amount of manure we are getting, just remember, those coconuts, man. Whoa, they go right through you if you have too many. Manure. Is that bucket filling up? It is. Excellent. Right, so that does mean now... Oh, I need to do some work on this, don't I? I keep saying that. We need to take this up to the workshop and do some work on it because it is in an absolute state. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, it means we can sort out the planters, the greenhouses. It's just those, isn't it? Planters and greenhouses. Yeah. Farm dog loves a greenhouse. Absolutely loves a greenhouse. Right, well at least I know I can do that now. That's one thing checked off my list. 3,200 litres. Oh. Maybe that's the next thing I need to ask for, some toilet roll. That could be on the list. Some balm and some toilet roll. It's the sand as well. Oh man, it gets everywhere. Anyway, moving on from here. Right, while we're driving off, there's something else I want to talk about. This is an episode of a couple of requests as well. One, I want to give a big shout out to Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. Legend. I like Tyler. We chat quite a lot. Now, anyway, Tyler asked me if I could do something. So I went on and had a look about what he'd suggested, and I like it. I like it. If you like roleplay, it's what I've kind of been doing here. I'm doing on Brassfett. I don't do it all the time, but I do like the roleplay aspect. You might have gathered that already. There's a website, and I'm going to put the address in there. It's a forum called FS Community Trader. And FS Community Trader, like I say, it's a forum, not a website. There's one for PC, kind of along these lines. Basically, it's for people that like roleplay on Farming Simulator. And there's all different forum bits in there, and there's boards, there's the sales floor, information and community area, there's, you know, the sort of chat areas and things like that. The premise behind it being, and if I get it right from what Tyler sent me, is Jesse and Brian. And Jesse's set this up about a year ago and trying to get a bit more kind of traction with it. And it's basically, the point behind it being is you kind of go on and role play buying, selling, leasing equipment, private contract work. It's just an interesting way. If you want to add an extra element to what you're doing on your role play, you can do that with similarly minded gamers who are out there that want to do the same thing. Now obviously within your game you then have to adjust things yourself, either using government subsidy signs, the there's the what were they called, the leasing boards as well, that I want to say Quite Hitman or Foo Farmer, who was it, one of those two guys did the tax signs, farm tax signs, or leasing of equipment and that kind of thing. But you can amend things, you can adjust things. I've done it so many times on Let's Plays myself, just on my own, especially when I do my subscriber contracts ones. So the point is, it's kind of subscriber contracts, but on another level. So you kind of go on and you can chat, and like I say, there's one. You've got the boards. There's rental and leasing office, dealership, and private listings. Are 3 that are on there under sales floor. They've got a set of rules, help section. There's a community area, and you go on and have a bit of a look, and you can obviously then put forward ideas and say, it might just be you want to lease some equipment and someone's got something to lease. It might be someone's got a piece of equipment they want to sell, and you can do a deal where you buy it off them, and it's, and then they can incorporate that into their storyline as well that they're doing, But like I say, just the links in the description. Just check it out, have a look. Like I say, if you like the roleplay side of things and you've done any of it at all, it may be something you might be interested in. So, whiz over and have a look. Show Jesse and Brian some love. Have a look on the website. I just started mentioning it. So, this is the orange thing. The question is, can I pick it up? Oh no. God, there's a lot of tight trees in here. Can I get to it? That's the question. I must be able to. Must be able to. It's in there. It's got to be. It can be got out. There we go. Can we get that one? So, question: is this the broadcast seeder that does grass, or is it a seeder, or is it a fertilizer spreader? I've got a funny feeling. Oh yeah, it's a seeder. Hang on a second. Just go through the options: wheat, barley, oat, canola, soybean, oilseed, grass, corn, sunflower, potato. Oh, that's because I've just suddenly realised. Oh, that's silly, G. You look legend. I was gonna. I know it sounds weird. I want to do potatoes properly. Does that sound? On some maps, what the map makers do is they make sure that the seeders, planters will do everything. So whether you get a seeder or a planter, they will both do all crops. Now this usually just does seed. That said, it's not a fertilizer spreader. I was really hoping it was going to be a fertilizer spreader, which it's not. Never mind, not the end of the world. I do know we've got a planter over here, although this will spread plant seed out far wider than the GT attachment. Well, at the end of the day, it's here. I've got it. If I want to use it, I can. I'm not sure that I will. There's no disrespect to whoever left it there. Just saying. The trouble is with these, as soon as I got closer, I thought, that looks like the broadcast seeder. But there are so many of these in the mod hub. Now, so we have got the planter attachment here. That should go round. Let's get the end of it. That way, shouldn't it? Yep. I mean, it's not that narrow, actually, is it? Okay, so we've got that. Let's gather things up that we know that are around. I think I did say I'm going to have to do some conversioning them. That's it. I'm going to have to do some converting to go and pick up the front loader attacher. Was there anything else down there? No. So we've got the cultivator, we've got the plough. Those were the 2 things that were down there. There's the planter. What else do I know? Oh yeah, down by the other store there was the what you call it? The not bucket. Well, I suppose technically trailer bed bucket. Something along those lines. The more we'll do, we'll bring that back to the store. I'll do some work on this, so we should be able to go and get the front loader. That was bale spikes, wasn't it? Not pallet forks. That said, maybe I'll get them to use as pallet forks. So I've got those 2 pallets of logs that we can take to the sawmill, and we'll mill them up. So yeah, we're not doing much. So I suppose we are still exploring the island, but yeah, we're not going out to any of the other islands at the moment. We have got more to do because there's the island there, and we need to link up to some of the other ones around the side as well. So there is more to be done with regard to the island hopping and what we might find on those, but we are a step forward. Ah, nice, okay. So we have got that. That will help. How does that unload? Oh, don't have access to land. Sorry. That's a call. Does that have straps? No. That's only going to be... What's the capacity on that? 4,000 litres? I don't know, it seems a bit much to 4,000. Or maybe it is. Okay, so that's the next bit gathered. And then... yeah, we'll do the work on the... on this for the front loader. We'll go and grab the front loader. That's all there was, wasn't it? I'm just trying to think. There was this planter. We've already done the cultivator and the plough. We've grabbed the orange thing. I need to bring the bucket of manure up and we can put it on the little planter boxes up here. Then, oh actually what I can do, it depends on the capacity actually, between the bucket and this, we could load this up with manure, couldn't we, and take it out. Right, let's disconnect that. Because I don't think you can have the front loader attachers and bits underneath. There'll be a bit of converting backwards and forwards, I think. Just bear with me a second. Let's repair it. I've gone for a stole. There are a few different options on that. I'm not 100% certain. I think it was it a stole front loader attacher? I don't know. There is a fuel pump there, but no fuel in it. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. So we'll have to get some fuel delivered at some point. Other than the drums we've got knocking around. Oh, that's the point actually. I need to go out and gather up other drums. Problem is with that, I could do with something with straps really. So I don't think we can pick any of those up. Pigs all seem fairly happy. They do need some more feed though. They're going to need something. So another reason why I think if we do a field of corn, I can eat the corn and so can the pigs. So that's not a bad idea. Please hook up. Please work. Please, 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 please. Yes. There was the stole. And bale spikes. Okay. Well, it gives us some more options. So I don't know whether or not... I don't think... I've never actually done it. Whether you can run this with the front loader and an underneath attachment, like a planter or a cultivator or a plough. You definitely can't run this with the front loader and the kind of bucket type attachment. I just don't think you can. That's those gathered. So those were the ones that were here before, if you know what I mean. So what we'll do, let's whiz over and we'll move a bale. Why? I don't need to move a bale. It's bale spikes. Of course it'll move a bale. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Let's head over to our plot. Let's move. See if I can lift up a pallet. I know you're not supposed to use bale tines for pallets. The tines can bend. They can break. That's what pallet forks are designed for. But at the moment, needs must. When the devil's in your boudoir, so to speak. Unfortunately, I do this thing every now and again. It's one of those things my brother and I have always done, and it's you know, regular sayings. Needs must when the devil's at your doorstep. I mean, it might be you've never heard that saying. I think my nan used to say that. So yeah, it needs must when the devil's at you. You just change it to whatever. You know, there's a few different ones. When someone says, "Oh," about whether something's true or not, and you say, "Oh yeah, does the Pope wear a pointy hat?" You know, and there's we always mix those up. Does the bear do its deposits in the woods? So we kind of mix them up. You know, please work. No, I'm over too far, aren't I? Still too far? Maybe it's just not going to work. Oh no! Old ye horses! It's not perfect, but it will work, and we can get rid of all the extra logs and bits and bobs, can't we? Excellent, I'll take those. Right, so the next job after this then, I'm going to go and grab the planter. We'll get corn in one of the fields, and that'll be our first step. When we first arrived up at the store, there is some fertiliser, there is some seed. When it runs out, it runs out. So that's going to be another thing we're going to have to order. Is some seed and fertiliser. Potentially as well, if we're lucky, if people realise there's someone on the island, I don't know, that might not be enough to draw anybody in. Someone also suggested building like holiday cabins and having it as like a holiday resort, a destination. But I think we need a bit more infrastructure, we need a bit more going on here. I mean, to be fair, it'd be a lovely place to just come and sit and chill. Thank you as well to all the people that commented. It was quite funny. Someone commented to say, or a few people did say, about the content, and somebody said, "Oh, I loved your voice, and you know, it's very calming and relaxing." And people often say that. I've never thought that about my own voice, but you know, fantastic. And someone said, "Oh, you know, I could happily just watch a video of you talking with grass growing." So I was, just as a joke, going to have the camera point in the grass and say, "Look, this is what you asked for, so there you go. We will do an episode of grass growing." And someone said, I would happily listen to you talking just a blank screen and that kind of thing. And I thought, well, I could do that. We could sort that out. I am joking, of course. We wouldn't do that. Now, will it work just from there, or does it need to be right in the trigger? No, it does work. Fantastic. It's not a huge amount of money, but it doesn't need to be. Although the forks have popped off the pallet. The pallet I will come and collect at a later date. Don't need that. So I'm going to do that with the others as well. Drop that off there, because that can be man-handled. Let's do the straps on that. I do like these NMC pallets. They're really handy. I'll go and get the other ones. Right, so next thing then is seed. I'm going to go and grab the planter, and let's get some corn in the ground. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be a bit more, it has been a bit more of a kind of relaxed, I'm just kind of a more flowing, just a few jobs that needed to be done. There was a few things I wanted to talk about, and it just kind of thought, well, it kind of blends nicely together. It gives me a chance to waffle and chat, and also then get those things done that I wanted to get done. So what I'm going to do now is I'll disconnect the forks, see if I can attach the thing underneath. If I can't, I might have to just keep doing like little conversions backwards and forwards, bolting on various different bits and bobs, and then let's get some stuff in the ground. And then what I'll do to finish off is I'll bring that bucket of manure up, and we'll, oh no, actually, yeah, maybe, we'll see, and I'll get the manure into those planters, and we'll get a little bit more income coming in. Like I said, I could have just spent the last few hours just doing logging. You know, the logging is here, it is available, I know I can make good money on it. The next thing as well is if we can do a bit of sampling, there we go, as to whether or not we can get things delivered, then potentially what we can do is look at, if we cut down a significant amount of trees, getting a bigger tractor, getting, you know, we can get some other stuff. You know, that's the point, isn't it? Once we've got that trade route open, the world's your mollusk. That's a Pratchettism. That's yeah, it won't work. Okay, so it won't work with the front loader bit on there. I've got to take the front loader off. That's a little bit frustrating. Never mind. Never mind. But yeah, so anyway, with regard to me having next week off, I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all greatly, and that's not just me being sarcastic. A lot of people seem to think I'm disingenuous when I say things like that, but honestly, I wouldn't be where I am. My channel wouldn't be where it is without all you guys that watch. I'm not abandoning anybody. I just honestly feel I need a break, and a lot of people have been saying that recently, not just about me. I know VF posted yesterday, tweeted to say he was having a few days off this week. He wasn't doing his regular schedule. He's feeling a bit burnt out. I know DJ every now and again takes a few days off here and there. I think it's seeing the warning signs, and it's something, not just being a YouTuber. I know people will argue why why do you need to? I totally understand that, but when I worked at the school, when I was a postman, you just get whatever job you do, you'll reach a point where you feel a little bit kind of a bit zonked, and you need a break. Now this is not going to hold a lot of seed, we know that, so I might have to come back with some falls, but there is seed in there, isn't there? Is that what that pallet is? Please tell me that's not just fertiliser. I thought there were a few different pallets. Oh no! That is seed. I know what I've done. Someone's nicked me fertiliser. They haven't, but I've just realised a mistake I made. See what I mean? I need a break. The video I did the other day about seed options on FS19 and prices, when I finished doing that, I uninstalled a few of the seed mods, and I think what I might have done is uninstalled one of the ones that I heard. Oh no. Let's open the cover on these. Just fill up. Okay. Actually, this holds way more than I thought it was going to. 560. It's not a huge amount, but it's okay. Right then, we're off. What? No, we're not. Back to the workshop. I've bent something. Right. Let's go. Why did I go this way? We'll cut across the grass. Oh, mowers. I suppose that's another thing I'm going to need. Now, do I go for the mowers that come with this? Because I'm using those on Rasfet, actually. They would fit, they would work on this, no problem at all. I'm thinking, that actually looks like it's bent, did I? No, I can't have done, surely. Or do I decide to go for something that mows and windrows, a set of mowers that mow and windrow? Because we've got a lot of grass that we kind of own around here, but over on the other island, most of that island is grass. So if we're either doing hay, although we haven't got cows, we could do cows. But I'd have to get those shipped in, and we have to have a whole cow barn built, wouldn't we? But if we did, it would only be for us. We're not going to go like full dairy loom, you know. Should I do it on this one here? Would that be enough corn, do you reckon? Yeah, let's do it on this one. I'll go around the outside first. I think because I've spent so much time waffling, we're probably already at 35-40 minutes, aren't we? Sorry, I know for some people who don't like the waffle. Now, that's something before we get going, is obviously I've got no fertiliser, I've got no way of spreading fertiliser, so this is not going to be particularly high yielding, it's just going to be standard. This one was cultivated because it didn't need ploughing. I think one of the other ones was, then 3 of them needed ploughing, so I can put stuff in all of them, but obviously the yield's not going to be as good as it could be. So we're going to need something to fertilise as well. So I'm just going to start compiling a list of things I think we're going to need. Those things are going to be very heavily dependent on whether we decide to go for a larger tractor or not. If we can get enough money together by doing a bit of logging to get a tractor shipped in, then we can use this one, of course, because this is our start tractor, and often people will upgrade completely. I often keep the start tractor and get something else as well, because I feel kind of nostalgic and sentimental towards the tractor that starts you off on a, you know, on a journey. Lost my thread about what I was going to say anyway. I do that too. Oh yeah, the waffle and the chat and stuff. Yeah, so anyway, but I'm still doing the farming side of it. I know a lot of people are very much going, oh, just do the farming. I'm doing both. I'm still chatting and farming, and you know, there's been no building work today. I haven't built anything. I'm not, you know, nothing like that. Just getting on with it. Like I said earlier, we're just living that GT life. Actually, you know what? I know we're only, what are we sowing at? Is it 2 metres or 3 metres, this one? Yeah, so the corn's not going down that quickly. It's not going to, is it? Because we're just not. Anyway, if you haven't checked out the Riverbird update video that I did yesterday, the extra crops, I mean, there's rye and rice has been added, which we've got on some of the other maps as well. And that's fantastic they've been added. I wasn't trying to in any way say, oh, what's the point or anything like that. But coffee and mustard was added. So if you haven't watched that video, jump on. I was amazed for two reasons. One, it's weird actually. It's something that never crossed my mind before. And I say never really noticed. I don't suppose I have really noticed before. That I normally have my crop growth on fast. Sometimes I put it on normal if I'm doing a kind of storyline where I want it to be a more prolonged growth cycle kind of thing, unless I'm running seasons, in which case it does it automatically. But the price for crops is often dependent upon yield. So you often find the high yielding crops don't pay out as much, but you get much more of them. The lower yielding crops pay out more. You know, that's just kind of the way it works. But what was weird, I'm not going to give too much away. Obviously, being a YouTuber, I'd rather you went and watch the video because that was, that's how it works. But the yield difference between the two crops was one thing, but the growth time just absolutely blew my mind. It's not something I'd kind of thought of before. I say not encountered, it probably has happened, it just my mind hasn't actually registered. Which begs the question, is that the case, or is that something that's not new, is it? It's not something I've ever tested, is the time it takes for each crop to grow. I was always under the assumption, other than trees, when you plant trees they take longer. Is it every other growth cycle they go up one, or is it every other day, or it's something like that, isn't it? But I always thought for the other crops, you have the certain times of day when it goes into the next growth cycle, and each crop type just goes through those growth cycles. The coffee didn't. Like I say, I don't want to give too much away, but so yeah, with this, we'll see how we go. We should be fine. But I thought something like that would be quite cool, wouldn't it? Something exotic. We could do, I suppose, sugarcane. This is the sort of place where it's perfect for it. Probably monsoony type seasons, humid, muggy weather at times, but also bright sunshine, lots of heat. I suppose it explains, there were a lot of sugarcane plantations on islands all over the place, weren't there? So I guess, yeah, all around the Caribbean. Before anyone tells me I'm saying it wrong, it's the Caribbean. It depends where you're from. I keep having these conversations. We're into rant mode again now. Sorry for this. This is not me being arrogant or anything like this, and if you've heard me say this before, I apologise for repeating it. Depending on where in the world you live will depend on how you pronounce things, because of accents. That's how accents work. Depending on where you are within a country in the world, things are pronounced differently because of regional accents and regional dialects. That's just the way it works. So, now I know sometimes with a foreign language, if I'm trying to pronounce names and words and things like that, if I get the pronunciation just completely wrong, I apologise. But for like English words, please kind of, a little bit of leeway needs to be given in that things are pronounced differently, and wherever it is you are, it may be pronounced a certain way. That doesn't mean that is the only way it's pronounced. People can pronounce words differently depending on where they live. For example, it was one of the things when I worked at the school was a big issue, because we used to do what they called phonics training. And phonics was teaching children about letters and about letter sounds and about letter names. That the name of a letter is not necessarily the sound of the letter. You've got the letter A, but it can make an A sound, and then you've got letters that when they're put together, you've got long vowel sounds, short vowel sounds, split diagraphs. I'm not going to get into all the details, but anyway, split diagraphs and different ways that words are written which change their pronunciation. Which is fine. However, even within the UK itself, a word like bath, if I say I'm going for a bath, or castle, has an R sound, AR. But that's only where I am, in my particular part of the country. Because if you go further north, they will say the word bath and castle. So if you're a teacher and you're teaching up north, or north of where I am, and you're teaching phonics, weirdly, although the whole phonics program and things like that were put together so that everyone would teach the same, You can't, because you can't teach a child that's living up north that says words like bath and castle, and I'm trying to think of other words, but anyway, to say that it has to have a long sound with an AR sound, so castle and bath, because they would say bath. So it's interesting. I've always found language interesting anyway. The etymology of words and language, and you know, I think it's incredibly interesting. You may think it's a boring waste of time, but I'm just pointing it out. You know, it's surprising how many times people will tell me I've said something wrong and it should be pronounced, or it is pronounced like this. Not necessarily, honestly. And I'm not having a go at any one particular person. It has happened a lot and a few times from different people. I'm just fighting my corner. As I always say, not complaining, just explaining. But we're getting on. We're now getting some corn in the ground. So we've gone from survivor to thriver, maybe? Are we thriving yet? I don't think we are thriving yet until we can actually get it going a bit more. We've got our own accommodation. So I'm going to leave you for a bit. I'm going to get the rest of this field done with corn. What else can we do with the planter? Now I know obviously because of the way the map's set up I can do all crop types with this. I am going to stick to just the planter crop types to start off with. So maybe we could put some soybean in the ground, although I don't think I can do a lot with soybean. I know soy products are used a lot with other things. I don't think you can just eat soybean, can you? Can you? Not sure. Probably. What else can we put in the ground? Sunflower. Cotton. We've got no way of harvesting that at all. It's a problem I'm having on Rasvet at the moment is I've got a field of cotton that I need to clear. That's not as bad, but somewhere like this, there's no small cotton harvesting equipment. It's all big machinery. That would be nice to see actually, I think. Something a little bit more, you know, a more old school cotton harvesting process maybe. Almost like where you harvest it and then you need to bale it with a smaller cotton baler. Whereas obviously the balers we've got at the moment, the cotton harvesters, are an all-in-one harvester, baler, the combo type thing. But it'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, again, just waffling. I am actually enjoying... No workers, them's the rules. Pressed the wrong button. Oh, I've done it again. Pressed cruise control and didn't press to put the actual plant on. Now we're cooking the gas. Yeah, I don't know. I think often it's nice to have a bit of reset, and I think often I have found that when I was doing 6 Ashes, I was a little bit more like this. I was doing more of a process, and I was going through and chatting and just doing my general thing. But then I kind of, especially when you're setting up a new Let's Play and you're trying to establish what it is you're doing, especially if you're going maybe down a roleplay route like I have done with Rasvet. It wasn't necessarily my intention to do that so much on here. There is an element of it, and I'll try and wean myself off it a bit. The next Let's Play I do won't be a roleplay. It may begin with a roleplay in so much as how I get there, but other than that it's just going to be a normal, just me doing farming stuff, I think. But doing an episode like this, because I've had all these ideas in my head of things that in each episode I want to get this done, this done, this done. I want to show this, I want to build this, I want to do this, I want to do that. And often when I'm doing that I kind of bounce from thing to thing because I've got a list of things I want to achieve by the end of the episode. This one, I wanted to gather up some gear, do the ploughing, get some seeds in the ground. And what's nice about that is it's a bit more relaxed for me, and it means I can spend a bit more time just chatting. Because realistically, what have I done? I've done some ploughing, I'm doing some seeding. I went round and gathered up a few bits and bobs here and there, but other than that, you know, it's been fairly straightforward. And I like that. This is great. I know not everyone likes the small machinery thing, but again, if you've watched my channel for any period of time, you'll know I do find the monotony of jobs Well, it depends. The mowing and collecting of grass and stuff on Rasvet did go a little bit. It did go on for me personally a bit longer than I'm comfortable with. But jobs like this and baling and jobs that a lot of people may find repetitive, I find quite relaxing. If you're one of those people that everything has to be the biggest machinery you can find and everything has to be done at a million miles an hour, and there's something for everyone, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I've done it myself, and you know, my Eureka exploration into insanity, I think, is the best way of describe it in that Let's Play. I loved every minute of it, but I do prefer this sort of thing. It's just me personally. Right, I'm going to finish this off, and when I see you in a little while, we'll take that bucket of manure and we'll get the manure put into the little planter boxes. And I think that's where we'll leave this today. I think. Yeah. See you in a minute. And there we are. We're done on that particular field. 244. We only used just over half of the seed. I thought we'd use way more than that. That's brilliant. Right, that's that bit done. Like I say, I've got more to do. We'll have to think about what we're going to put in the other fields. Corn's a good enough starting place. Coconut and corn. Delish. This might take a little bit of a time to get up there, but we'll take this up. Now, I did mention in the last episode when I built the cabin and the toilet facilities that the pigs will be producing manure in inverted commas. I know quite a few people then suggested different pig pens to use. I totally get it. There are loads of pig pens available, I know. I went for that one specifically because it was an open pen. The problem is with some of the open pens, because you don't put straw in for bedding, you then don't get the manure out. It kind of fit the aesthetic of what I wanted to do, but I don't obviously get the resultant products that I wanted from it. So we're going to narrative it. We're going to storyline it, because we would still be getting, you know, the kids, the pigs. Wow. Okay, the pigs will still be leaving a mess behind, you know, regardless. So yeah, don't worry. It's not going to be insane. It's not going to find out the next episode, oh, that's amazing, the pigs have produced 140,000 litres of manure. No, nothing like that. Just small amounts. That's a very big bucket to be tipping into such a small container. Maybe I should use a shovel. Oh, it's going over the floor. That's not working, is it? Is it going in at all? I honestly can't tell. Oh yeah, it's going in. I'm going to need to shovel that last bit out of there. That's a very small bucket. A container, that's taking a lot of manure. Okay. Let's see how much that tiny container just took. 3,120 litres, and it's not full because I tipped the rest on the floor. Wow. Okay. Well, I think that's as good a place as any to leave it today. Now, again, like I say, I'm just going to reiterate a couple of things that will really, really help me, help the channel. One, just smash that like button. If you like the episodes, If you've been entertained in any way, shape or form, just smash the like button. That'll really help, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm and stuff like that. And like I said, while I'm away next week, starting from Saturday, I haven't backed any videos up. It's not like I've got 10 ready and I'm just going to post them every day. I'm literally having a break completely. If you can go back and watch any of my Let's Plays that you haven't watched before, or some you've watched before and want to watch again, or any views will help massively. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm not, I'm not begging you to. I'm just asking. It'd be great. And if you don't want to, you haven't got to. I'm not forcing you to either. And like I say, I'm going to mention this on my mod review, and I'm going to mention this on tomorrow's video, whichever it may end up being. I think it'll probably be Rasfet, but we shall see. And so it'll be a week until the next episode of this. Apologies for the break or the gap in videos. It's just the way I think it needs to be. It's probably going to be the best bit. That off. No, wrong one. That's the one. Fantastic. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you're still enjoying it. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. If you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.